stop beating yourself up over that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. Aren't you a pastor? Just saying. We'll call him a philanthropath. It's a psychopath disguised as a philanthropist.
Unfortunately, some members of the community platforms push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Because that's how the mind works.
And some of the trees actually still have their leaves.
I used to ride my motorcycle throughout, Healdsburg and Santa Rosa after the fires hit, and I was like, this is not natural.
The perception of truth. Podcast.
I'm Vernon Roach.
And I'm Julianne Bryson.
And this is Perception of Truth Podcast. Are we living in the apocalypse right now? I just, there's so much going on. It's just like, technology is moving at a rapid rate all over the world, and they're rolling out, everything's digital.
Yeah.
Everything is, let's get rid of real stuff. Let's and it's causing these spikes in precious metal prices, everything else, because I'd love to be on that system. I love the 1800s system where I could bring you a dozen eggs and you give me a pound of lard, and it's great. And for people out there that play the board game Catan, let's get back to that.
Right.
I'm going to give you some wheat, you give me some bricks,
Well, that's funny, because I've actually heard people say, oh, well, precious metals, that's like a new thing. No, this is God's money. This goes back centuries.
That's $17 an ounce of silver to $51 an ounce of silver. Okay, just make sure everybody knew that. Not the 1700s. You said 17. $17. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like a couple 100%, right? 17 to 34 is 100%, and add another 17 on top of that. That puts us at 51. It's like, oh my word, we're like up 200%. Now, people call and say, have I missed the boat? Like, no, you haven't missed the boat, because here's where we start to look at some of the current news and what's happening. And as an economist, supply and demand rules everything. Like, if you have low supply and high demand, prices are going to go up. When you have no supply, okay, that's when prices really go through the roof. Why? Because this is where gold and silver both act as a flight for quality. When people start losing faith and confidence in the government, when they start to realize, oh my word, my bank is undercapitalized, I wonder if my money is actually safe. So when you've got wars and rumors of wars and turbulence and turmoil and banks running out of money and just nobody trusts the government anymore, anywhere in the world, I don't care where you are, that causes gold and silver to go up as something that's real, it's tangible, it has value, it's authentic, right? Where anything else like paper money, well, all I have to do is press the button on the printing press and there's nothing backing it. How valuable is that? What is it actually worth?
I call it monopoly money.
We just came off of the gold standard, and that's when they started printing money at will, and the value of the dollar started to drop now to the point where like $1 is not even really worth $1 anymore. Yeah. And every time the dollar devalues like that, then precious metals values go up. And I mean, even last week, I think was one of the best weeks we've had in precious metals. Spot prices, gold surpassed, 4,000? And then silver surpassed $50 an ounce. The only other time that it got that, it came up to, I think, 48 an ounce. I can't remember when that was, but that's the only other time that it's been that high. So now we have a new floor on silver. And I think silver apparently the price of silver is suppressed even more than the price of gold. So you're going to see silver go higher in relation to how much higher gold is going to go, right?
Well, it's because of the spike in werewolf population. That's the only thing I can think. No, it's. I love that. So all you people out there that's got these family members that go and strip copper,
right.
That's why they're driving a Hummer right now, son. No, it's. I love that. I live real close to the Amish, and I have really.
Is that why you wore that hat today?
That they made this for me. That's right. No, I love it. Yeah, I get that a lot too. Especially when I come rolling up to one of their houses, I can see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
They're like, man, that beard is. Yeah, you could be one of us.
I try to emulate everything they do because they have great outcomes on everything they do. Health, diet, everything. So yeah,
They got.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. No, they got it going on. So I was taking my 14-year-old Jackson to school, and we come pulling to the end of the road, and it's like 6:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the sun's just, starting to get up. And I'm like, all right, Jackson. I said, you see those kids over there building that barn? I said, do you want to go do that or you want to go to school? He's like, I'll go to school, Dad. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. You're probably better off he was over there with them, though. But
Right.
I'm going to get you to school, son.
Learn a trade, you know.
Yeah.
And the future's bright when you know some skills.
And it's a commodity now in our society.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things with this current administration where, bringing back all of the economic, industrial stuff to the country, I think is a great move, because our kids will be able to see the benefits of that,
You mean you don't want to rely on communist China anymore? You don't want to be subjected to their whole system? Because that's where they're going with it. If we're dependent on China, then they got the right to spread this whole, which they're trying to do anyway, but the whole social credit score thing that the poor Chinese people are subjected to, and they're trying to roll that out across the world, basically with this digital ID and digital currencies and all this kind of stuff. So that's why anything that's asset backed is the way to go, because you do have to unplug from the system. I mean, don't forget the FDIC only has 1% of the money that they say they have. So that means if everybody went to the bank right now to withdraw the money in their account, only 1% of those people would actually be able to do it because the FDIC is broke. I mean, it's such a scam. It's such a Ponzi scheme when you think about our whole money system. And then how they're going to tie it in with this digital ID, which, in the UK right now, they're already rolling it out. They're rolling it out in many countries right now.
Unless we opt out, digital ID will get its tentacles around our necks and we will become like China. Or worse, mark my words, your every move will be surveilled and your ID will be tied to your digital money. And if you derail from what the authorities want from you, you will pay the price. Said the wrong thing on social media? Didn't get the latest booster? Won't acknowledge that there are more than 2 genders? You'll wake up one day and you won't be able to access your funds. Don't believe me? Remember when people wanted to donate $20 to the truckers? The Canadian government froze their bank accounts, just like that. And you know what they're gonna do? The media is gonna do the same thing they did with the vaccine. They'll claim that everybody wants a digital ID and families are feeling safer according to some survey that doesn't even exist. They will try to twist our perception of reality. So don't fall for it. Now what's the solution? First, all the airport, bank, and government employees that will be used to roll this thing out, wake up and realize that you are about to enslave humanity, and that includes yourselves and your children. There are better jobs out there. And for everybody else, the solution is to opt out.
It's all part of the globalist system, and like we were talking about earlier, the mark of the beast. It's not any wonder it's happening now, right? You think about the biblical timelines of that and the end of end times, right? It's digital ID, microchip in our forehead or our wrist. That's the future of, if they get their way. If the globalists get their way. So yeah, this is the spiritual war we're in. And anybody who signs up for that does not understand what's going on. They don't get it. Because I don't care how convenient it is to swipe your wrist when you go to purchase something. Everything about your health, your finances, your education, your belief system, your philosophy in life, your religion, whatever, they can attain all that information through this digital ID. And if you are a dissenter, like we are considered, they can basically knock down our social credit score. And then once your credit score gets to a low enough point, you're suddenly disallowed from going to the grocery store or going to put fuel in your car or whatever that might be. That's already happening in communist China. right? You talk to these poor people in China that are dealing with this whole social credit score, and they're also encouraged to like tell on their neighbors and stuff. They actually gain social credit score points by ratting out their neighbors that are not complying.
Wow.
And there's people being arrested for posting stuff online in the UK. This is happening right now. So yeah, I just don't think we should like be roped into this convenience selling point. I don't care if it's inconvenient. You know, frankly, dealing with cash is inconvenient at times, but I don't want us to ever get rid of cash, because that is how they're absolutely going to like finally have that nail in the coffin on a totally digital, financial system where they can control us through our finances. And that's why it's so important to unplug from that system and have real assets like precious metals. Because at some point, look at what's happening all around the world anyway, all the BRICS nations. Everything that they're doing is they're moving away from the American dollar as, the world reserve currency. And because they're tired of being, suckered into this whole, it's all robbery. Like it's a big Ponzi scheme, right? And these other countries are like over it. That's why they're setting up a whole new financial system outside of that, where they're not reliant on the American dollar anymore. So when and if the American dollar tanks and these countries all move over to an asset-backed currency, if you don't have assets, like your currency right now, your paper currency is worthless.
You can take your gold and silver and you can make it spendable through debit cards. Well, that's going to be great, because then you're spending gold to buy food. And the more the dollar collapses, the higher the gold value becomes. And the translation of gold into dollars doesn't occur until the moment you spend it. So, if you're sitting on, let's say, you've got 100 ounces of gold or whatever, that's a pretty big chunk these days. You got 100 ounces of gold, and then you go buy $500 worth of food online, even with our store, then they're going to sell off $500 worth of your gold, or, basically redeem it into dollars at the moment of the purchase based on today's price of gold. So that's why having gold and silver is going to dramatically amplify your future purchasing potential. So if you get gold and silver today, as the dollar collapses and the metals price goes up, you're going to multiply your purchasing power in the future.
That amount that's on your bank account, that's just a digital number that could be changed with a click of a mouse. It's that serious. That's why I've been telling people for years now, you got to unplug from that system and make sure you have a backup plan. And, there's cryptocurrencies too. I don't know a ton about it. I've invested in some of them, XRP, XLM. I don't know a ton about it, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but I just know that changes are coming and you don't want to be caught out there.
Yeah, no, that's, and I always think about the level of control.
Yeah.
The level of control and how they can track. So to your point, they can shut it off, and we saw some of that with Canada.
Yeah.
And
with the truckers.
The truckers. Yeah.
And they sure did.
And here's the thing. I've even been reluctant and apprehensive about, my technology that I wear every day and my phone, because those are tracking devices. And this thing right here tells me when I need to exercise. It tells me what my blood sugar is. It tells me how I'm, composed and how many calories I burned today and how many steps I took and where I went and if I use the bathroom or not, or if I need more fiber.
But how ironic though, because it's actually detrimental to your health to have those EMFs attached to your wrists like that. So it's like, oh, that's so awesome that it's telling me all my health stats right now, but it's like poisoning me in the process. So yeah, I took mine off. I don't use mine anymore. I thought it was super cool. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't want this shit on my wrist anymore. Take this thing off of me.
Well, to that point, think about when they put it in your skin.
It's the same thing as, wrist
a chip.
microchip, you know.
Because it still takes some EMF,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to power that and communicate with it. So,
Yep.
so you know, if it's in your skin, I mean, it's like every other futuristic movie where there's a guy running from the establishment and he has to dig the locator out of his skin so he can actually, you know, escape evil. You know, the Neuralink thing, you know, like that's, to me, that's just mind blowing because we're morphing into a hybrid of humanity now. Like we're getting away from being completely human.
Well, that's
you know,
part of the agenda, you know. It's all
genderless type, you know, automatons.
transhumanism.
Yeah.
You know, that's why there's all this trans stuff happening. It's like it's back to the whole MK Ultra mind control, like, and how they just mold the masses into thinking something that's totally crazy is actually normal.
Yeah. So,
because once you accept that as normal, I mean, you are like silly putty. They can just mold you in any which way, you know? I mean, who wants to be half robot and half human? Like, because that's the future. That's all this AI stuff. It's like they're trying to replace humans, right? But they're also okay with like people morphing into like these half robot, half like with all this technology that they're subjecting us to and trying to implant in our skin and in our foreheads or wherever else. It's like, I don't need that.
No.
I don't need one bit of it. So,
you know, the only thing that I saw that was positive about it was the things that they can give back to people they never had, like sight,
yeah,
you know, hearing, making paraplegics walk.
Yeah.
You know, that's wonderful, but at what cost?
Well, using technology to help people instead of hurting them, you know, like I'm still kind of waiting to see these so-called med beds come out, and I don't know if it's real. I hope it's real, but there's a lot of talk about some technology. I think there's a lot of technology that's going to be released because there's so many patents that are suppressed, but one of these medical devices is a med bed that apparently people that have amputated limbs will actually have their limbs grow back and all kinds of like amazing healing, which apparently is, you know, it's from another planet, supposedly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think anything is possible. I think there's so much technology that the government's hiding from us. So it doesn't sound that far-fetched to me. And I know there's life on other planets. I'm pretty sure there's planets that have way farther advanced technology than we do. Who's to say that they're not sharing some of that with us? You know, I mean, it's God is so good, but we got to get the enemy out of the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And he's controlling Earth now. So he's got to go.
That's right. And you make a great point, as I believe that we've had civilizations already here that have risen and fallen, that had technology way beyond what we could, stargates, everything. And that's why when you get into the Egyptian culture and things like that, you see these hieroglyphs of hybrid people where they're like animals and people.
Exactly.
And then they have stuff on there like space guys and, you know, all these flying things. And so I think that we're there again, and we're getting there again with the Stargate stuff. And I think it's all a big cycle that keeps repeating itself over and over and over and over again, just like the rise and fall of every civilization.
In a world where our furry friends are more than just pets, they're family. Introducing Treatables, the original and trusted CBD brand dedicated to bringing harmony to the whole family. At Treatables, we understand that your pet's well-being is paramount. That's why we offer a range of products designed to enhance their quality of life. From our delicious soft and hard chewables to our convenient oil droppers and soothing transdermal cream, Treatables provides a comprehensive solution for your pet's needs. Our unique 5-in-1 health benefits address a variety of common pet concerns, including anxiety, skin issues, gut health, and joint health. With Treatables, you can trust that you're giving your pet the best possible care, backed by years of experience and research. Experience harmony for the whole family with Treatables, because when your pet thrives, so does your family. Treatables, where love meets wellness.
You made me think of shape changers and Nephilim spirit that, you know, when all the giants were taken out in the flood. And then I think a lot of that negative energy just apparently attached into humans. So they killed the giants, but that Nephilim spirit still existed, and it started attaching to people instead. And that's why there's so much evil in the world, because there's actually this bloodline from this Nephilim that is dictating certain behaviors, you know? So, you know, who's to say that people that we see every day walking around in public are not, you know, these hybrids?
Does those people with the elongated skulls, does that fit into that? And the reason I asked that, I know you grew up Catholic, so I've heard so many things and theories about the hats that the Pope wears, you know, and all this, and does that tie into that, or are you familiar with that?
That I'm not sure. I don't know enough about that to really comment, but you know, and I wonder if there's also just hybrids of, you know, you hear about reptilian race, then there's, you know, other beings from other planets possibly that are living amongst us that are shape shifting, and they can look like they're human, but then they're like, remember that one thing, that girl was on the plane and she had that total freak out because she sat next to some dude and he like shape shifted right in front of her, and her post like went viral. She was like, that guy is not real. Like, she was having a meltdown. I'd be having a meltdown too if I sat down and all of a sudden you're sitting next to somebody and all of a sudden their whole face transforms into some like alien head or whatever. Like, that would freak me out too. I wouldn't want to be stuck on a plane next to someone like that.
I have a story that kind of goes along with that. Now, it can go either way. Okay. We're coming up on Halloween, and this was during Halloween.
Okay.
And I was at a party in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and you could just say, oh, it was just a guy in an elaborate costume. Okay. But the more details I think about afterwards, I really question it. But there was this person there, and they had a really elaborate mask, and it had like, it would breathe like this, right? Just like a sci-fi movie, right? And the eyes and the mouth, you couldn't see any face. It was just like it was real. It was like an animatronic mask, like something that somebody would pay a lot of money, like a movie style mask.
Right.
But I'm almost convinced now, looking back, you know, was that one of those people? You know, and then you see all this stuff on, and I have to take it with a grain of salt. Some of these videos online, it looks like it was just a glitch, you know, in the digital whatever, but some of them are very compelling, and one of them that really sticks out in my head is Beyonce.
I was just gonna say
Beyonce. You know, that video.
That is freaky.
Yeah.
For a split second, you can see that demonic face. Well, she talks about how she has this like Sasha, this like alter ego that just takes over. I mean, that's demonic. She's like always doing the whole Illuminati hand signals and all this stuff. So I mean, I don't doubt any of that stuff.
So many of these celebrities are using satanic symbols and are basically into pedophilia, into child snuffing, into drinking blood, and they think it makes them something special, when in fact they're merely, you know, war criminals.
Most of Hollywood is like totally down with all this like satanic worship stuff. It's really, really sick. But
I always knew that Single Lady song was evil. Oh, you single lady. I can't say any of that. Can't do anything on the podcast. Sorry. That's all you get. So, you know, no, it just.
I noticed you hit that note though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I hit it. That's right. That's right. You got it right here on wax now. Woo. No, that's, you know, how many of those politicians and celebrities and all these people at the top in the hierarchy, how many of these are these people reptilians? Are they, you know, are they different are they Nephilim from the line of Nephilim? Are they inhabited by those
It's
Nephilim
all of
spirits?
the above. And then there's actors with masks on. You know, you've seen like those crazy
Yes.
videos where you can tell by the neckline that person has a mask on,
Yeah.
or you could see it up here in the eye section, because when they have that mask on, there's that little section where you can kind of tell. When you really start to look at some of these politicians, it's clear that
The creepiest one.
it's not them, or it's a stand-in, or it's a body double. I mean, how many body doubles did Biden have? I
Yeah,
mean,
that was strange. Yeah.
That was so weird.
Well, especially when they put the images next to each other,
Yeah.
and you look at them, you're like, no, that's not the same person. But one of the most disturbing ones, is it Meghan Markle? Yeah.
She's
Oh,
bad.
there's a video out there that
Or she's all like,
yes. Oh
Yeah, it's
my,
creepy.
It is
Yeah.
creepy.
Meghan Markle, actress turned literal princess when she married Prince Harry, has had quite some speculation around her over being a robot. Now, I've heard many things, including reptilian, and some people believe something has just, replaced her. But the robot shapeshifter is an interesting theory. It started when a clip went viral over Harry and Meghan wearing masks to promote Madame Tussauds new Harry and Meghan edition. But what made everyone feel the creeps is not just the fact that their facial expressions are unsettling, but also because Meghan is not blinking. Terrifying. Whereas Harry apparently was. Anyways, I think that this got everyone to start theorizing that even though this is a mask, she may actually be a shapeshifter robot, and you know what? I don't blame them. We're probs living in iRobot and don't even know.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And there's this, I don't even know the term, but there is a psychosis where as humans, we fear things that look human, but we know there's something off about it.
yeah.
And it's like an instinct thing, that came from, earlier days.
Yeah.
Animals have that. Animals can tell. They're through their senses that something's not right. Like you see these National Geographics where they build a fake lion and they put it out there, and the other lions are like, "Nah, brother, nah, it ain't. Nah, kill it." You know what I'm saying? Like it's off. Something ain't right about this dude.
What about like the whole Palladian thing, which is like these are like basically aliens from another planet, and they live amongst us apparently, and they're beautiful, like gorgeous people. I mean, some even say that the first lady is Palladian.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I mean, again, I think anything is possible.
Is that like Wonder Woman? Is that like like the whole Amazon thing? Because they do stuff in our face. You know what I'm saying? They put stuff out there constantly in our
Predictive programming.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what most of entertainment is, sadly.
Yeah.
It's all government sanctioned predictive programming. I mean, the CIA runs Hollywood, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that part alone, like it wields it like a sword.
Yeah.
Wields it like a sword.
Yeah.
And just, we're going to push our narratives, and we're going to do it from a standpoint of giving you a slow drip and making you attached to things that you call pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, it's indoctrination.
Mm-hmm. The world we live in. Is that the end?
The perception of truth.